Today, you're going to get back your robot that you drew last time. If you did not finish drawing your robot, that's the very first thing you need to do. If you're all done with your robot, you're ready to move on to the next step. You're going to start off by painting your entire robot gray. You might notice that as you paint, you start to lose some of those lines that you drew. That's okay. We'll go back in next class and redraw some of those lines after the paint's dried. You'll also need to grab a big brush and a little brush off of the supply table today, because some of these spots are going to be kind of tough to paint with a big brush, so you might want to use a little one in certain spots. Alright, after you've painted your whole robot, you need to clean off your brush. Then we're going to add some highlights and some shadows. So when you're adding highlights, and then we talked about when the sun hits something, it always hits it from the same side. So if I want to add a highlight to this left side of the arm, then everything needs to have a highlight on the left side. I can't do a highlight on the left side over here and then a right side over here. It doesn't work like that. So you're going to be using this very light blue, this tint, to add some highlights. I'm just going to a couple little strokes. It doesn't need to be a whole lot. You can be kind of quick about it. Doesn't need to be perfectly precise. It's okay if some of your gray is still wet too. Alright, so I'm done with my, almost done. Lastly, I need to add shadows. I just added highlights, now I got to add shadows. Once again, do it very lightly with the black. You don't need a whole lot of black on your brush. I hardly have any. And that's going to go on the opposite side of your robot. Alright, when you get this far, you're finished. Alright, so painting the entire thing gray first. Then I added highlights on one side of the body. Lastly, I added some shadows on the other side. Be very careful with the black, alright? I just use the very tip of my brush to make those strokes. When you're done, this goes in the drying rack. Put your brush in the dirty brush bin.